Why hello everyone, welcome back to Divinity. Where we left off, we couldn't record last time because Sony was having some major issues, but Thomas is here today. He can't really speak because there's some noise in the background. So as for now, he's there.
May the teeth of my dead foes bite you!
Okay, where are we going? I believe we have to freeze the frozen lady. Freeze her. I mean, free her. Free them. Let's get straight into it and see what we could do. I feel like we could just teleport to her, right? This place, right? The prison? Hopefully. Yes.
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice. There must be a way.
There she is. The White Witch. A prisoner in ice. I wonder what sorcery, or worse, sorcery, we'll have to use to get her out.
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice.
Okay, so we use something?
Doesn't seem to be working. Did I do wrong?
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice. There must be a way.
But I think it was a wand that he gave me.
This is your White Witch, then? And you're sure you want to free her, are you? Even our mad Boreas wouldn't have wasted such precious ice on a petty criminal. Whatever she did to find herself here must have been rather severe indeed. But I am in your debt. And I would be remiss not to honor your request. Shield your eyes, Source Hunter. To melt ice of this refinement, I'll need to summon an equally rare flame.
Okay.
Gods, it's colder than a witch's teat. How very callous of Leandra to inter her only sister in a barren tundra for eternity.
Ikara, you're all right? The ice, King Boreas, and your sister. What a frigid hell you've endured.
And yet not even a frigid hell like this could induce you to put on a shirt, could it, Ahu? My old friend. Surely I have you to thank for my salvation.
That honor goes to a pair of talented source hunters, actually. If not for their efforts, I'd be quite uselessly prowling around your prison still.
Then perhaps I ought to address my savior directly. Source Hunter, is that the masquerade? Well, what a motley crew we are. Isn't there somewhere a bit warmer we might discuss matters?
What do you mean by masquerade? We are members of the Order of Source Hunters.
Ah, yes, of course, of course. Do pardon me. I didn't mean to imply you were very clearly eternal beings in the guise of minor mortals. Not at all. Please, let's do carry on.
Are you the White Witch?
Oh, yes, I suppose I am. But I do prefer my given name. Ikara, that is. Charmed. But I hope I haven't disappointed my own hero. Am I just as white and witchy as you'd hoped?
How do you become imprisoned here?
First things first, Source Hunter. For my freedom, I owe you every imaginable thanks. My soul had withered in this prison, and I might not have survived much longer without your help.
Okay.
Now, about the culprits. My corrupted sister and the mad Winter King. When I realized exactly where, and to whom Leandra was consigning me, I was certain I'd never enjoy the sun's warmth again. But neither she nor I anticipated the Source Hunter. That was her mistake, and my blessing. I never would have imagined Leandra capable of dealing with the likes of Boreas, but she has changed into someone I hardly recognize anymore. I take no pleasure in the memory of that night. The thought of hurting anyone or anything is abhorrent to me. But if you've come this far, I trust you've learned that the Counselor was far from a humble civil servant. This doesn't excuse my behavior, but perhaps it can help to explain it.
What happened the night of Jake's murder?
It's a sordid story, to be perfectly frank. Two sisters, a philanderous, treacherous wizard, death and mayhem. Are you sure you're interested in such things? The sparkle in your eye belies your better nature, Source Hunter. Now I know that it is your duty to get to the heart of this. And, in truth, the events of that night were but one part of a larger and much darker matter. A matter in which I'll dare to beg your assistance before we're through with one another. Now that terrible night.
Oh?
One night, as I slept, I had a sudden revelation. No dream, but a vision. My sister Leandra and my lover Zandalor. I didn't understand, but I recognized their location. Syceel's King Crab Inn. I arrived and looked through their window, but inside, everything was wrong. Leandra had fled, and Counselor Jake stood over the wizard, a knife in his hand and hate in his eyes. As I watched, he drove the dagger deep into Zandalor's heart, and I was too late to stop him. In that moment, I broke. I saw before me not a man, not even a beast, but evil incarnate. And I used Source to slay him. On the floor lay Zandalor. In my hands, I held Jake's life force. I had sworn never to use Source, but I couldn't walk away. And so I did the unthinkable. I used the Counselor's life to save Zandalor's. He was alive, but only just. Betrayal. Murder. Source. We were all of us guilty now. If you were any other Source Hunter, I suppose you'd strike me down where I stand after that terrible admission. Fortunately for us both, you are no other Source Hunter.
Tell me more about Leandra.
My own little sister, if you can imagine it. She was always the more ambitious, the more exacting of us, and she had no fear of the darkness that so often accompanies Source. Her collusion with King Boreas in imprisoning me here confirms my worst fears. She is planning something far greater than I could have anticipated. For this reason, and with a heavy heart, I must ask you, Source Hunter, to find out how far exactly Leandra has become entwined in the dark arts. I hate to extend my own invitation, Source Hunter, but I believe I ought to accompany you to Zigzax's hideout. Presumptuous, yes, but I'd recognize the imp's essence just about anywhere. Both he and you must learn more about the darkness that has extended itself into our dearest Rivellon. And I believe I know where we must begin. Ah, But unless that's a bear flailing through the threads of time, I do believe Master Zigzags is on his way.
Oops.
Hunters, you've done it! Ikara is free! Ah, what good it does my impish heart to see her safe and bright as ever! We have much to discuss. Come one and all to the end of time. A spot of something warm and the soft glow of the tapestry ought to do us all a bit of good, There you are, Ikara. Now, if we're done playing hide and seek, let's not waste a jot more time. Oh, I just can't wait to pick your every synapse.
After you, Master Zigzags.
Oh, we had to talk, Scarlet.
So that's the White Witch,
Oh.
eh? I expected someone a little more evil. I can't say I'd cut her down for mistake, but she sure has fewer horns than I expected.
Oh, if only Jarrett were here to meet her. He would have loved to lay eyes on the White Witch of so many legends.
Yeah, let's not. Anyway, Scarlet.
We've solved the murder and caught the culprit. Yet this case feels anything but closed.
There's more to this crime than simple facts. Killing a killer is hardly the same as killing an innocent after all.
There's more to this crime than simple fact. Killing a killer is hardly the same as killing an innocent, after all.
We'll have to learn more before we can assess Ikara's true guilt in this matter. Fortunately, she seems quite eager to tell us more about this entire dark affair.
Indeed, Scarlet, indeed. Romantic, Scarlet. You want to kiss my pumpkin head? You say yes. I just realized I could say anything. I'm okay. Come. We go. Okay. White Witch. Can I... Oh, I cannot.
Tell me, O Weaver, if you know all that is past and present, does that mean you know the future as well?
Why? I see Master Zigzags has upgraded from his shabby little hut at the edge of the hour. From the fairy dimension to the, space-time Weaver Hunter Imp one. What do you call this place again?
This is a homestead on the sheltered
reality.
plains at the end of the time.
Ha! Is that so?
Indeed.
It seems I have my share to learn about the magical world
Indeed.
yet. The end of time. Well, suddenly your association with Master Zigzags makes sense. Well, I must say, it's no small relief to find myself in a safe haven among such allies.
Let's start from the beginning. How is your sister involved with the dire happenings around Babylon?
I believe the answer to that begins centuries ago, when your order was still cutting down so-called dark magicians by the dozens. Ours was a family of born sorcerers, you see. It was in our blood to interact with Source, but our parents were determined to curb the power within us. Still, their meekness wouldn't save them from the Source Hunters.
Then it's true, you are a sorcerer.
I am, but there is more to our kind than they teach at your academy. Source isn't only blood and madness. It's like lightning, an exquisite current of great power.
I see.
We sorcerers are like metal steeples. Source is drawn to us and it flows through us. But what so many fail to understand is that Source can be controlled. The power-drunk through history have abused it, and all the world's sorcerers have borne terrible consequences.
Tell me about these consequences.
Tell me, Source Hunter, in all your hours studying the arcane arts, did your great masters ever suggest that perhaps not all sorcerers were evil?
No.
Did you ever hear, even once, that some of us were weak and gentle, that we could be simple forest folk healing the sick and frozen each winter. No, I doubt also that they'd mention that one day this hunt of yours would birth a broken soul powerful enough to inch all of Rivellon toward oblivion.
I see. You mean to blame Leandra's doing on these source hunties?
No, that would be going too far and eschewing my own responsibility. I believe Leandra's long fall down did begin at the hands of some of your own order, but it was I who sparked all of this.
I see. You mean someone of our own order killed your partners? Parents? Partners? Oh, that's parents.
They came on a quiet morning. My mother was wild with fright and commanded me to hide myself and Leandra outside, among the trees. Even at that young age, we knew not to question her. We climbed high into the branches of a nearby tree, and before we could look away, our parents were cut down without ceremony before our door. The source hunters sauntered away, wiping their blades with pride. 2 more sorcerers dead, a job well done. From that moment on, everything was different. As we trembled in that tree, our fear and our desperation were so potent that the magic within us began to weave together. Our souls became forged together, our bond unbreakable. We would survive, thrive even, within those woods, never speaking to outsiders. Our soul forge meant that if one of us were to die, the other would instantly perish too. We kept one another close. Leandra's capacity was enormous. Source didn't frighten her, and she delved into that dark well with terrible regularity. I did my best to guide her, but she fast outgrew my admonitions.
Tell me what happened between yourself, Leandra, and your wizard.
My sister and I were mired in a solitary existence, witches among the trees when Zandelor came. Leandra especially couldn't leave him be. He was a feast of information, and she wouldn't rest until she'd absorbed every bit of knowledge he offered. Their days were spent on charms, hexes, and the like. At night, Leandra would wander off to practice what she'd learned, and Zandelor and I would settle into our quiet tasks, side by side. We were a content trio, the 3 of us, but base impulse would undo us.
What do you mean by base impulse? Do you fuck? Is that why she didn't like it?
As you know, Leandra and I were soul-forged. This offered us a window into one another's souls. I knew Leandra had developed feelings for Zandelor, and she knew I had too. But it was me to whom he confessed his love. Those quiet evenings together had captured his heart, as they had mine. Her heart broke the moment we announced our new attachment, and I felt the pain of it as sharply as a knife. She fled, without a word, and I didn't see her for 2 terrible years.
So you're telling me she's a jealous cunt?
My connection to her, our soul forge, grew weaker. It was as though some third entity, a parasite, were atop our souls, sucking the strength from it day by day.
What's next? How do we stop Leandra?
We've a single order of business first and foremost. Leandra is gathering an army, and I fear we'll have to get through it if we wish to find her. But first, we must learn more about Leandra's plans. How many of these so-called Immaculates does she have in her palm, and to what end is she directing them? Source Hunter, you've learned so much already. That spell you found. If it's to be believed, Leandra has created Death Knights. Only that spell, combined with her blood, will make them vulnerable to attack.
Is there no vendor in your sister then?
I believe that our soul forge has been
Redeeming your
damaged.
sister,
By what? I can only guess. The fraying of the bond between us has left Leandra adrift in a well of sorrow she truly believes will never end. What she needs is a hand. My hand, out of this abyss. If our soul forge is repaired, I am certain she'll cease blazing this path of destruction.
Let's discuss the soul forge between you and Leandra.
I cannot condone the terrible things she's done, but I can seek to understand them. With our soul forge in such tatters, I believe Leandra is adrift in the not at all inconsiderable sorrows of our lives. What's more, I sense a terrible force bearing down upon the bond between us. It is hungry, and it consumes ever more of Leandra's mind and soul. I cannot say exactly what this force might be, but I'm certain it's both driving me out and driving Leandra on.
I see.
If I could only repair the forge, I'm certain she'd put a stop to this madness.
Let's discuss these inner minds.
Gods, Death Knights, this is dreadful news. Worse than I could have expected. Death Knights are a terrible sign, Source Hunter. Historically, they indicate their maker's intention to wage total war. Death Knights are impervious to attack, you see. The perfect soldiers. Fortunately, you're 2 steps ahead of my sister. With that vial of her blood and the fail-safe spell you rescued from the mines, you can craft a piece of magic powerful enough to render her army vulnerable.
Interesting. Let's discuss the Immaculate Temple.
You're 2 steps ahead of my sister, dear Source Hunter.
Down, this
With
video
that
is more
vial of
about
her
talking
blood
than anything.
and the fail-safe spell you rescued from the mines, you can craft a piece of magic powerful enough to render her army vulnerable.
I see. I must tell you about the book of Leandra called the Forgotten Gods.
So that's her plan. She intends to summon Astarte and the Void Dragon and overwhelm the goddess with an unstoppable army. With Astarte gone, there will be nothing to stop the Void from consuming all of Rivellon. Our mission is greater than us, greater than Leandra, Source Hunter. It is a quest to save all of existence from eternal blackness. Her plan must not succeed. Sister, sister, what have you done?
Is that what you want?
What's the word, Source Hunter?
Are you, young lady?
How might I serve our mission?
I have met with Leandra in the realms of heaven. She is using the Starstones to create bloodstone.
Leandra. She desires to be mother of the Void, but you have the power to undo her born-in-blood litter. Though they be baptized in blood, you can cleanse the Starstones still, and use them to thwart their grim queen.
I see. Hey, do you have...
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
Okay, so I learned about the relationship between Leandra and, Zandra and the witch sister. You told me you had no idea who the strangers in the inn could have been.
Yes, that was a small fib on my part, I'm afraid. Zandalore is known as the Keeper of the Source, after all. And I didn't know how Source Hunters would react to my association with such a colorful character.
I have found a book among Leandra possessions.
She knows of the wizard Zandalore and the fabled Temple of the Source. She wants to get in. It is part of her purpose. Ikara is key, Hunter. She knows Zandalore. We must find him before Leandra does.
Okay, I think we done here, yeah? Knowledge. Power. I talked to her. Okay, I really did that. I really talked to her. Really talked to her. Did every single thing that she wanted.
Source Hunter, you've learned so much already. That spell you found.
I know.
If it's to...
I have seen
What's the
void.
word, Source Hunter?
My vision like confused spots
Okay,
after
so-
staring in the sun.
He's figuring
We are
out.
haunted by the same vision, my
We'll go
friend.
talk to the chef.
The end of
I have the last chest. The last chest. The last chest. If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it. Find my 4 sisters, no more than one in each of the realms of your wide world, and each by each, you'll discover how to open me.
Okay. There we go. You figure anything out?
So this tapestry represents all of time. One wouldn't think that time itself would include so many threads dangling temptingly where any claw could reach. He
basically took stuff.
Look alive, Madam Weaver. Our friend Ahu here is no better than the void when his instincts overcome him.
Clawing at time and void. He wouldn't, would he?
You and Zandalor have always been close, Ahu. Pray tell me, did you know anything about his affair at the King Crab?
Come now. Do you really think he'd let me in on it in advance if he'd been planning an affair with your sister?
How can I tell?
Give me the book, I want it.
Maybe you taught him a thing or two about slinking around in between shadows.
If that were true, he wouldn't have been murdered, resurrected, and pursued by the bringer of the apocalypse as a result now, would he?
Ha, true enough.
Yay. Okay, so now we could basically use this too. Oh wait, we could all use it.
Tell me, O Weaver, if you know all that is past and present, does that mean you know the future as well?
Alas, no.
Well, here you go. Oh.
I can predict with a degree of certainty, but I cannot speak of what is to come unequivocally.
Back to the caves, I guess, yeah? Eliminate those guys.
But we must both run our course.
Hopefully we could get some fight in this recording. Oh my lord. I was about to do that actually. I was like, why are you sending that to me? I need to give that book to you, or else I'm gonna sell it.
You and Zandalor have always been close, are you? Pray tell me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I already talked about that now. We're going to the caves. Do you remember that cave?
So this tapestry represents all of time. One wouldn't think time itself would include so many threads dangling temptingly where any claw could reach it.
Look alive, Madam Weaver. Our friend Ahu here is no better than the void when his instincts overcome him.
Clawing at time and void.
Oh, you got something. Okay, let me listen. Why? It seems you... It seems you're more than caught up, aren't you? You already got the spell and the blood, both what we'll need. If the spell is so to believe, the slice through Leandra army of death knights remarkable. That means we only need to find Xanderor now. Let's discuss
Long ago, when Source was banished, a league of great men and women promised to protect its secrets. The Keepers of the Source, they called themselves. Our wizard is its last living member.
Okay.
That night in the King Crab Inn, Leandra was after something that only he knew. Find him, and you'll learn where to find her.
King Crab Inn also.
He lives in Hunter's Edge, a village east of Lukula. When last I saw him, he was in a panic about Leandra's betrayal. It's possible that he'll have flown Hunter's Edge. You may need to investigate to find a hint of his whereabouts. Take this ring. It will mark you as my ally. If you should find Zandalor, he'll know I sent you.
I have seen the void, and it haunts me. Follows my vision like confused spots after staring in the sun.
We are haunted by the same vision, my friend. The end of all visions. But only in the dark can light be born.
Oh, I'm done already?
Let us cling to that and hope.
Take me to the cave. Take me to the cave. joined. Check me joining.
You and Zandalor have always been close, are you? Pray tell me, did you know anything about his affair at the King Crown?
Come now.
I'll figure it out. Okay, you did. Here we are. We made it to the caves. Hey, wasn't this the... Yeah, we had this teal too, hun. I forgot, didn't we need some spell?
Doesn't seem to be working. What did I do wrong?
Damn it, didn't work. Oh well, let's go to the other cave then. Never mind. No, we could have teleported that right. So, yeah. I like this. I'm taking this one. Let Mr. Jack handle this. I remember, I just have to look at it. How you doing? Where is it? How are we even got it? Because I don't see it. My point is, we will have teleport to it. Oh, it's a shit place? Is this the mine? You know the place where we got the Tenerium at? Oh, okay.
It doesn't seem to work here.
Oh, I have to move this over here. I am here. But we can't teleport here at all. Damn, all I wanted to do was buy some.
A hurried choice is never wisest. Considerations will behove you. The crypto library both may move you. A hurried choice is never wisest. Away, away, we fly.
Someone.
You want to fly? You want to win?
Will you wanna?
Just say the words, I'll heed your call. The library, the end, away with...
We currently lost, but we figured it out. He's basically want me to take me away. Hey, this is... Oh, we're kind of close to it. We just walk there. As I get stuck in the void. Let's see. Switch cabin. No, let's go. It's like that whole cave will just swallow off. Goblin Village. To look for the mines in the quest log. Investigating the mines. Oh yeah, this is it. We can't teleport to it though. Oh, okay, so we can no longer go up here. Okay. Damn, and I so was hoping to kill a Death Knight. Where do we go there? Oh wait! We have to go to the Hunter's Edge. That's in the beginning place, yeah. In that inn. Indeed, indeed. He agrees with me. Okay. So it's in here. It's okay, the inn is over here.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my legs.
What you doing? Hang on, I'm lost. I like how you following me. That's like great choice here. Here we are. Okay, so there was a guy. Stop.
Ah, hello. I suppose...
Supposed to be in the king.
Welcome be, my friend. Waitress, another round of beers, if you please.
Probably upstairs. Oh, that's the witch lady.
Is not love a wonderful thing, my friend? The greatest fortune of animal...
Ah, hello. Well, now that the matter's settled, I am the...
Actually, we have a lot of other quests that we haven't done yet. I have to go to that young lady up here. I'm gonna finish one quest while you read that. What are we doing over there?
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice and stir and churn.
Please figure out where to go next. I'm just gonna go complete a quest.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir.
Are you the young lady?
So good to see you again, Source Hunter. This cannot be. Can it? You have found one of the sources of the undead and sent it back into oblivion. But that is fantastic. Never have I seen such heroism. Hope breaks through after 2 years of absolute darkness. Sicil remains under threat, yes, but finally it has been proven even the dead can be vanquished. To think, Feliron too was behind these horrors all along. A man who treated the wounds I obtained in battle, who comforted me when my agony was great. Such a pity. Sicil is in your debt, Hunter. I, and the Legion too. Brachus Rex is dead, and no one but you could have done this glorious deed.
No worries. Did I complete your quest, young lady? Anyway guys, for now we're gonna have to end it here, unfortunately. At least we completed one quest. And a lot of talking. Oh, this is shut on. Next time we'll see what we had to do. As for now guys, I do hope y'all enjoy, and I do hope each and every one of you have a lovely night or day, depending where you are. And remember guys, I will see y'all all in the next one. Peace.